Adam Montgomery, a man with a history of violence and drug abuse, stands convicted of the brutal murder of his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony Montgomery. The tragic case, which captured national attention, began when Harmony was reported missing in late 2021, having last been seen alive in 2019. As investigators delved into Adam's background, a disturbing picture emerged of a father who subjected his young daughter to unspeakable abuse and neglect before ultimately taking her life. Prosecutors painted a chilling portrait of a man who repeatedly physically abused Harmony, leaving her with black eyes and other injuries before brutally beating her to death in December 2019. Adam's callous disregard for his daughter's life was further evidenced by his attempts to conceal her murder, moving her body multiple times and even storing it in a freezer at his workplace. Let's begin. Adam Montgomery and Kayla Montgomery are a married couple living in Manchester, New Hampshire, with their children and Adam's daughter from a previous relationship, 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery. Adam and Kayla struggle with substance abuse issues and have had previous run-ins with the law. Harmony is a bright and energetic child, but her life has been marked by instability. She has been in and out of the foster care system due to her father's ongoing battles with addiction and inability to provide a safe and stable home environment. In late November 2019, the family is evicted from their home on Guilford Street and begins living out of their silver Chrysler Sebring. On the morning of December 7, 2019, Adam and Kayla wake up early to get ready for their daily visit to the methadone clinic. They load their children, including Harmony, into their gray Chrysler Sebring and head out, with plans to grab breakfast at a nearby Burger King after their appointment. At the methadone clinic, Adam goes inside to receive his medication while Kayla waits in the car with the children. Harmony, sitting in the back seat, is excited about the prospect of getting a treat from Burger King. Unbeknownst to the Montgomerys, however, this day is about to take a tragic turn that will forever change the lives of everyone involved. At the methadone clinic, Kayla goes inside first to receive her medication, while Adam waits in the car with the children. After Kayla returns, Adam goes inside for his treatment. As Adam returns to the car, he smells that Harmony has had a bathroom accident while in the vehicle. Enraged, Adam begins striking Harmony repeatedly in the face with a closed fist as he drives to the Burger King on Daniel Webster Highway. Despite Kayla's pleas for him to stop, Adam continues to assault Harmony. He strikes her multiple times on the head, even when stopped at traffic lights. After a particularly forceful blow, Adam comments that he may have seriously hurt Harmony this time. The family arrives at the Burger King drive-thru, where Adam orders food and eats, displaying no concern for Harmony's well-being. Harmony is left moaning and gurgling in the back seat. After leaving the restaurant, Adam drives to the Colonial Village apartment complex, where he spends about half an hour taking illicit substances in the car while Harmony's condition deteriorates. As Adam drives away from the apartment complex, the car breaks down at the intersection of Webster and Elm. At this point, Adam discovers that Harmony is dead. He stuffs her body into a duffel bag and carries her back to the Colonial Village apartments. Over the next several months, Adam and Kayla move Harmony's body to various locations, including Kayla's mother's house and a family shelter. They use a cooler and a shower curtain rod to conceal the body. At one point, Adam places Harmony's body in a bag, compressing it and adding lime to accelerate decomposition. Kayla assists Adam in removing Harmony's clothing and moving the body. Tensions rise between Adam and Kayla as they struggle to keep their secret. Adam becomes increasingly paranoid and abusive towards Kayla. In December 2021, 2 years after Harmony's death, Kayla is questioned by police about Harmony's disappearance. She initially lies to investigators, claiming Adam had returned Harmony to her biological mother. However, as evidence mounts against her, Kayla eventually agrees to cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for a plea deal. Adam Montgomery is subsequently arrested and charged with second-degree murder, falsifying physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse. He is held without bail pending trial. The community is left in shock, mourning the loss of an innocent child whose life was cut tragically short by the very people who were supposed to protect her. We now fast forward to the trial where Adam Montgomery stands accused of second-degree murder, falsifying physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse in connection with the death of his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony. The prosecution's strategy centers around presenting a clear and compelling narrative of the events leading up to Harmony's death. They describe in painstaking detail Adam's actions following Harmony's death. They present evidence of Adam stuffing Harmony's body into a duffel bag and transporting her remains to various locations, including the Colonial Village apartments, Kayla's mother's home, and the family's in transition shelter. The state emphasizes the disturbing treatment of Harmony's body, describing how Adam compressed her remains into a small bag, added lime to accelerate decomposition, and even stored her body in a freezer at his workplace. The state argues that Adam's actions demonstrate a clear intent to conceal his crime and evade justice, further emphasizing the severity of his offenses. The state also presents evidence of Adam's violent temper and his history of domestic abuse.
So let's talk about the victim that he murdered, the victim that he made sure couldn't come into this courtroom and tell you the horrible things that he did to her. Her name is Harmony Montgomery. And there are 4 descriptions that you're going to hear of Harmony during the course of this trial, some of them horrible. Harmony was born to the defendant, Adam Montgomery, and her mother, Crystal Sorey. She was born on June 7th of 2014. She was a daughter. She was a sister. She was a Minnie Mouse fan. She was a fun-loving girl that loved being a big sister. She was just 5 years old when the defendant brutally murdered her. During the course of her brief life, she was a fun-loving girl. She was someone that defied all odds. She spent most of her life with Tim and Michelle Rafferty, her foster parents, who she called Daddy and Mommy Michelle. And those odds that she defied. When Michelle Rafferty, when Tim and Michelle got Harmony, when they got custody of her, she was just 2 months old. And Michelle was told she's not going to live past 7 months. Told that she had learning disabilities. And still you'll hear that Harmony was an intelligent girl. She was a curious child. She was a child that ran with other children, played with them. She was potty trained at a very early age. At a very early age, she was potty trained, and that'll become important as we progress throughout this trial, so keep that in mind. Harmony was potty trained at a very early age. She wasn't someone that was bound by limitations, and you'll hear that when she lived with her mommy Michelle and her mommy Crystal, she was thriving. She was thriving in school. She was thriving with her peers. She was a child like any other. She was full of life. But that's just one description of Harmony, and I told you there are more. The defendant got custody of Harmony in February of 2019. At that time, she was only 4 years old. And the second description is darker. It comes from the 10 days before the defendant murdered her, and we'll talk about that more as we go along. The 10 days before he murdered her. In the second description, not the one where Harmony's thriving. In this one, she's scared. She's skinny. She's constantly exhausted. And she's bruised. At this point in Harmony's brief life, she's not able to control her bladder. She's not able to control her bowel movements. She's soiling herself. And during this period, the time when the defendant had her, those 10 days, she went from living in their home on Guilford Street at 77 Guilford Street to being homeless and living in a car, in the family's car. And when they were living in that car, those bathroom accidents got worse and worse, and they came more and more often. And you'll hear about the defendant's rage, this rage of the defendants that was building and building with each and every accident. And each time Harmony had an accident in that 10-day period, the defendant would strike her. That rage only growing, adding to that fear. And the next 2 descriptions come from the actions that the defendant took after he had murdered Harmony, after he beat her to death. You'll hear that she went from this little girl full of life, a girl that radiated happiness, that radiated joy, to a scared girl, broken, bruised. And from there she went to the dead girl in the duffel bag. And after that she went to the dead girl rotting in the ceiling. the ceiling that the defendant slept under for months. For months, as Harmony's body fluid, her blood, leaked through that duffel bag and was absorbed into that ceiling, he slept under her. That's what he did to her. That's what he made Harmony. His actions. Remember that as we go along. This case is about his actions. And those are the descriptions of Harmony. That's what the defendant made her before he disposed of her.
Next is the defense's turn to present their case. Faced with overwhelming evidence against their client, the defense team knows they have an uphill battle ahead of them. Their strategy focuses on two key areas: challenging the prosecution's narrative and raising doubts about Adam's intent. The defense begins by attempting to undermine Kayla's credibility as the prosecution's star witness. They argue that Kayla, as a co-defendant, has an interest in shifting blame onto Adam and may not be a reliable witness. The defense attorneys point out that Kayla was the last person to see Harmony alive and suggest that she knows more about Harmony's death than she claims. In an effort to challenge the prosecution's timeline of events, the defense asserts that both Adam and Kayla discovered Harmony's lifeless body in the early hours of the night behind the Colonial Village apartments. They argue that Kayla made Adam feel responsible for Harmony's death, claiming not to know what happened and insisting it was not her fault. The defense suggests that Adam's actions in the aftermath of Harmony's death were driven by a misguided attempt to protect Kayla and their children rather than a sign of guilt. The defense contends that the lack of corroboration for Kayla's version of events raises reasonable doubt about Adam's guilt.
You were just left with that picture of Harmony, and seeing that picture is heartbreaking, knowing that Harmony is dead. But Adam Montgomery did not kill Harmony. Adam Montgomery did not beat Harmony in the head as he approached the Burger King drive-thru. Adam Montgomery did not cause Harmony's death. Kayla Montgomery was the last person to see Harmony alive and know how Harmony died. But she didn't come clean with Adam. She didn't come clean with the police. And she will not come clean with you. She is still lying about the cause of Harmony's death. Even though Kayla now has her deal with the state, she continues to lie. The only reason Kayla has to lie now is to protect herself. The only reason she has to lie and point the finger at Adam is because the truth points the finger at her. The only reason Kayla has to lie to make Harmony's death so brutal and foul by Adam is to hide that Adam was protecting Kayla, his wife, and the mother of his kids. Now look, I'm not pretending that Adam isn't innocent here. Adam is not an innocent here. He and Kayla covered up Harmony's death. He's not an innocent here. He and Kayla moved Harmony's body from place to place to keep it hidden. And Adam is not an innocent here. He and Kayla put her body in a shower to wash her remains of the fluids of decomposition and then permanently hid her remains. You can and should find him guilty of those crimes. But in committing those crimes and sticking with a story that protected his wife, Adam set himself up for Kayla's betrayal. Her betrayal to accuse him in the most vile way possible of what he did not do. To accuse him of brutally killing his, not her, daughter, when she knew that was not what happened. The evidence that will show you that Adam did not brutally murder Harmony will come mostly, and very reluctantly, from his accuser, Kayla. Not from other witnesses or the physical evidence, but by showing that Kayla's lies continue. And the only one protected by those lies is her. Because only she, other than an infant and a toddler, was around when Harmony died. Only she knows the truth, and only she has benefited from all the lies she has told. This plastic bag contains a note. This note is written by Kayla, and it reflects what she wanted for a bargain. A few weeks after her incarceration, this note was found in Kayla's cell. She writes of her willingness to, quote, betray Adam. Not to finally be free of Adam, not to finally be safe from him, not to tell the truth, to betray, meaning stab him in the back. But she also wrote of her longing to be alone with him one more time, to kiss, to make love if she could. She didn't write of fearing to be alone with him. She did not write of any fear that Adam would hurt or kill her for her betrayal. In her fairy tale musings, Adam would understand and protect her to the end. Their children needed their mother, she wrote. But as this note also shows, Kayla wanted more than just one last time with Adam. She had a whole wish list, a set of demands. She wanted, quote, immunity from everything. Everything being in all capital letters. She wanted immunity from everything, all charges I'm facing, and what I'm going to say about Adam. Maybe ankle bracelet, or probation, or drug court. Kids in my life. Not lose custody or rights to my children at all, and be able to have kids live with me once I do a residential treatment program and complete it. Kayla was willing to sing for her supper, not for truth, not for harmony, but for Kayla. Kayla was all about protecting herself to wiggle out of accountability for her own conduct.
The first witness is Michelle Raftery, Harmony Montgomery's former foster mother. The prosecution calls her to establish Harmony's background, the progress she made while in Michelle's care, and that she was thriving and potty trained before being returned to her father, Adam Montgomery. The prosecution's strategy with Michelle's testimony is clear: to show the jury that Harmony was a happy, healthy child who was making significant progress, and to contrast that with what happened to her after she was placed in Adam's care. By establishing that Harmony was potty trained and thriving, they lay the groundwork to argue that any later issues with toileting or development were the result of abuse and neglect. Michelle begins by describing Harmony as a loving, sweet, and happy child who was very social and loved being a big sister. She notes that Harmony came to live with her and her husband Tim when she was just 2 months old, after being born with significant medical issues, including blindness in her right eye. Doctors had told Michelle that Harmony likely wouldn't live past 7 months old. However, under Michelle and Tim's care, Harmony defies expectations. Michelle describes the early intervention services and team of specialists who worked with Harmony, helping her to meet every developmental benchmark. By the time she was 2.5 years old, Harmony was fully potty trained, which will become important later in the trial. Michelle's testimony paints a picture of a child who, despite a challenging start to life, was able to thrive in a loving and stable home environment. She becomes emotional as she describes the last time she saw Harmony in December 2018, before she was returned to the custody of her father.
Do you have any experience as a foster parent yourself?
Yes, I do. Over 13 years.
And can you tell the jury about that experience?
Yes. We had the privilege of being Harmony's foster parents.
And you mentioned a name, Harmony, just now.
Yep.
Who is she to you?
She was our foster daughter.
What did she call you?
Mama.
Your husband, Tim, what did she call him?
She called him Dada and Papa. Harmony came and lived with us when she was 2 months old.
Pretty intimidating. What were you told about Harmony before?
So we were told that she has hydroprosencephaly, which is like a disorder with her brainstem. And we were told that she was legally blind in both eyes, and that she probably wasn't going to live 7 months.
I'm sorry, can you say that last thing?
Yeah, that she probably wasn't going to live past 7 months old. Hyeloprocephaly was the original first diagnosis.
You mentioned this blindness. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about that?
So at that time, she had a whole team of doctors, and she was considered legally blind in both eyes. However, I started to notice when I would feed Harmony that she would track me with one of her eyes, at least one of her eyes. And, then we went on to get different diagnoses for her.
You mentioned these disabilities.
Yes.
Was Harmony developmentally delayed?
She was not. It definitely could have been a possibility. She started off with that original diagnosis, and through going through testing, she had a neurologist, endocrinologist, ophthalmologist, and we had a whole team of specialists that worked with her, and they changed the diagnosis to septo-optic dysplasia.
Ms. Rafferty, was Harmony potty trained when she was in your care?
Yes, she was. She started at our house, and then she finished when she moved back with her mother.
And how old would she have been at that point in her life?
So at 2.5, going on 3, she was potty trained.
What steps did you take you said she started at your house. What steps did you take to potty train her?
Harmony was very easy to potty train. She didn't like to have, soiled clothes on, and she wanted to be like the bigger kids that were in our house. So she would tell us that it was pretty much Harmony potty trained herself.
Next, the prosecution calls Crystal Renee Sorey to the stand. Crystal is Harmony Montgomery's biological mother, and her testimony is crucial to the prosecution's case. They aim to show the jury Crystal's efforts to maintain contact with her daughter after losing custody to Adam Montgomery, and how Adam consistently blocked her attempts, suggesting he was hiding something sinister. Crystal begins by discussing Harmony's birth on June 7th, 2014, and her medical condition at the time. She admits that she was struggling with addiction and having difficulty coping with Harmony's diagnosis, which led to Harmony being placed in foster care when she was just 2 months old. However, Crystal emphasizes that she worked hard to overcome her struggles, and by March 2016, she was able to regain custody of Harmony. She describes her daughter as amazing, rambunctious, and very smart during the time they lived together. Crystal becomes emotional as she recounts how Harmony could tell her whole life story by the age of 2, and how people didn't believe she was so young because of her advanced communication skills. The prosecution focuses on establishing that Harmony was fully potty trained while in Crystal's care. Crystal's voice fills with pride as she describes how excited Harmony was to be a big girl and a big sister. She becomes visibly distraught as she recounts her last FaceTime call with Harmony around Easter 2019, after which she never saw or heard from her daughter again.
When the two of you were living together, how was Harmony?
Amazing. Rambunctious, very smart. By the time she was 2, she could tell you her whole life story.
She was talkative?
Yes. People didn't believe she was 2.
When you got custody and were reunified with Harmony in those 2 places, did you work and finish potty training with Harmony?
Yes,
okay.
I did. And
how did she take to that?
She did very well, honestly. I was kind of surprised. She was just really excited to be a big sister. Her brother had diapers, and I told her, babies wear diapers. And you're not a baby anymore, you're big sissy. So she was right on it, and she did so well.
Did you try to reach out through the months of May and June?
Yes.
What about in July?
I believe so.
Okay. Did you receive any phone call from Kevin Montgomery, Adam's uncle, in July?
Yes.
I'm not going to go into the detail of what was said, but after that call, did you continue these efforts you talked about before, trying to get in touch with Adam?
Yes.
And what about September of 2019? Were you trying to get in touch with Adam then?
Yes.
What about October and November of 2019? Were you trying to get in touch with Adam then?
Yes.
Christmas of 2019?
Yes.
In touch with him then?
Yes.
Were any of those successful?
No.
Did you see or hear from Harmony at all during that time period?
No.
What about in the year 2020? Did you continue to try to find and get in touch with Harmony or Adam?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
No problem. What about the following year, in the year 2020? Did you try to get a hold of Adam and Harmony?
Yes, I had made a new Facebook hoping, because he had blocked me and so did Kayla, I was hoping to get through to him that way.
Did you try also through 2021?
Yes.
By December of 2021, what else were you doing to try to find Harmony?
I was
to respond.
Calling DCF. I was, telling my therapist, talking to anybody that I knew was either a mandated reporter or had some type of leverage because I wasn't getting anywhere. I had wrote also to the mayor.
And in December of 2021, did you have any meetings with the Manchester Police Department?
I'm sorry.
Yep. In December of 2021, did you meet with the Manchester Police Department about trying to find Harmony?
Yes.
When did you last see Harmony?
April
Of
2019.
April of 2019?
Yeah, right before Easter.
Next to take the stand is Kayla Montgomery, Adam Montgomery's wife and a key witness for the prosecution. The purpose of her testimony is to establish the timeline of events leading to Harmony's death, provide an eyewitness account of Adam's abuse and murder, and detail the subsequent cover-up. Kayla's testimony is crucial for the prosecution's case as she is the only living witness to the crime besides Adam himself. Kayla begins by describing her relationship with Adam and the family's living situation in Manchester, New Hampshire. She recounts how they gained custody of Harmony in February 2019 and the child's room at the residence. Kayla also discusses Harmony's medical condition and confirms that the girl was fully potty trained when she came to live with them. As Kayla's testimony progresses, she reveals the family's eviction from their home in November 2019 and their subsequent homelessness, living out of their Chrysler Sebring. She describes how Harmony's bathroom accidents increased during this time and Adam's escalating anger and physical abuse towards the child. Kayla admits to witnessing Adam striking Harmony and covering her with a blanket to conceal her injuries from others. Kayla's account of the events on December 7, 2019 is particularly harrowing. She describes Harmony's bathroom accident that morning and Adam's brutal response, repeatedly punching the girl in the head as they drove to a methadone clinic and then to Burger King. Kayla recounts her failed attempt to intervene and Adam's chilling statement, "I think I really hurt her this time." The testimony takes an even darker turn as Kayla describes Adam's actions after Harmony's death. She recounts how he stuffed the child's body into a duffel bag and moved it between various locations, including her aunt's porch, her mother's house, and a cooler in their apartment building. Kayla also describes the horrific scene in their Union Street apartment bathroom, where Adam attempted to remove evidence from Harmony's body. Throughout her testimony, Kayla admits to lying to police and a grand jury to protect Adam and their family. She details the cover-up story they concocted about Adam taking Harmony to her mother's house and the threats he made to ensure her compliance. Kayla also describes the physical and emotional abuse she endured at Adam's hands when he suspected her of informing on him.
Kayla, I asked you earlier about whether Harmony was potty trained when you got custody of her. And I believe you said she was.
Yes.
Did that change at some point after the eviction?
Yes.
And tell the jury about that. What happened to Harmony?
She wouldn't let us know when she had to use the bathroom, and so she was peeing in the car, just in her seat that she was sitting in, and she wouldn't tell us that she had to use the bathroom.
Was she only peeing, or was she having other accidents at the time?
She was also pooping.
How frequently was this occurring for Harmony?
A lot. Like, at least every day.
And did those accidents, did they increase in frequency the longer you were in that car?
Yes.
How was the defendant responding when she had these accidents?
Getting angry.
Would he do anything physically to her when she had accidents?
Yeah, he would smack her.
And what does that mean that he would smack her?
He would smack her in the face, or on her leg, or in her hand.
Were these soft smacks,
No.
hard smacks, or something else?
They were like hurt, stung smacks.
What makes you say hurt, stung smacks?
Because she would cry during, like, whenever she got smacked by him, and I could hear it, and it sounds like it hurt.
I'm sorry, you could hear the crying or you could hear the smack?
Smack and the crying.
When you say she was crying, who's she?
Harmony.
Those strikes, were they manifesting in any way on Harmony?
Yes.
How were they manifesting on her?
The more accidents she had, the more he would get angry, and he would hit her repetitively.
Was the defendant causing visible injuries to Harmony?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
And tell us about those injuries.
When he would hit her, she started getting black eyes and bruises on her face, on her legs.
Walk the jurors through in as much detail as you can what happened on your route from Habitopco to that Burger King.
Adam was getting really angry from Harmony peeing in the car, and he repetitively kept punching her on the way to Burger King, and there were a couple red lights, and when we were at red lights, he would go over the driver's seat, like in between the passenger seat, and he was just punching her repetitively in the head.
And you've said there were several times where he punched her repetitively in the head.
Yes.
How many times did he hit her?
I can't count. I don't know.
Were you counting?
No, I wasn't.
How many lights did that car come to where he repetitively struck her?
At least 2 or 3.
Between Habitopco and the Burger King, did the defendant say anything to Harmony?
Told her to shut the fuck up. Stop crying.
You said she was making a weird noise.
Yes.
Can you describe it?
It was like, I can't even describe it. It was like a moaning kind of noise, but crying. It was just weird. I can't explain it.
Did you try to help Harmony while he was striking her?
Yes.
Tell the jurors what you did to help, to try to help.
I put my arm up and said to stop, but he looks at me and he gave me this look that was like evil. His crazy eyes. I didn't like it, and I couldn't stop him from hitting her, because the look that he gave me was scary. I was scared.
What were you feeling when he looked at you like that?
Like he was either gonna hit me or just, I don't know. It was weird. And that was like one of the first times that I've seen him look at me like that.
Was it the last time you saw him look at you like that?
No.
When you arrived at the Colonial Village parking lot, when you arrived back there, what did you and the defendant do?
We got drugs and got high.
When you say we got drugs and got high, what drugs did you get, Kayla?
Heroin and
And how long did you use those drugs for in that parking lot?
probably we were there for probably 10 or 15 minutes.
When did you realize that Harmony had passed away?
When Adam was trying to wake her up and she didn't reply or anything.
Was he saying things to her to try to wake her up?
Yeah, he said Harmony, and he kept saying baby girl, like, and trying to budge her, and there was nothing.
Was he touching her?
Yes.
What was he doing to her body at that point?
Trying to figure out what to do, and getting all the kids out of the car. He took the duffel bag that was in the trunk, and put her in the duffel bag.
You mentioned this duffel bag from the trunk.
Yeah.
Had you seen that duffel bag before, Kayla? What was it used
Yes.
for?
When we got kicked out of the house, we put clothes in there for everybody. And it was in the trunk of the car.
Did you see him put Harmony in that duffel bag?
Yes.
How did he put her in there, Kayla?
He, like, folded her in half and put her in the double bag.
And I asked you earlier, and I think you said he began to discuss dismembering Harmony.
Yes.
What did he say about dismembering her?
That he just wanted to put her in, he would put her in pieces to get rid of her.
And was that at the Union Street apartment?
Yes.
That's where that discussion occurred?
Yes.
Did he ever discuss using tools on Harmony with you? Using tools on her body?
He said that he was going to try and use a saw. He wanted to use a hand saw or a NutriBullet.
Early 2020, did the defendant begin to suspect that you were informing on him?
Yes.
What did he suspect that you were informing on him about?
About killing Harmony.
And what did he do because of those suspicions?
He started abusing me.
I want to unpack that abuse. Can you tell the jurors what he did to you?
When he would accuse me of talking to police or detectives, he would ask me if I was telling, and I would say no. And he would say just to tell him the truth, and I wouldn't agree, saying that I did. And then because he would end up hitting me, and I finally said that I did, even though I didn't, but he still hurt me anyway.
You said that he ended up hitting you. He would still hurt me anyway.
Yes.
How did he hurt you, Kayla?
By punching me
Where did he punch you?
in the head.
What did he punch you with, Kayla?
His hands.
Open hand, closed fist, something else?
Both.
How often did this happen to you? How often did he do this?
Constantly. It just kept happening.
Michaela, you said that the abuse started in early 2020.
Yes.
You said that this photo was taken in March of 2021.
Yes.
You also said that this was a regular occurrence.
Yes.
On cross-examination, the defense attempts to undermine Kayla's credibility by highlighting her own lies and suggesting she was more involved in the cover-up to protect herself. They imply that she is shifting blame to Adam to avoid accountability for her own actions. However, Kayla maintains that her testimony is the truth and that she is coming clean about her role in the events.
Do you recognize those writings?
Yes.
And those are writings of your thoughts that you put to paper about what you wanted to betray Adam, right?
No. They are my thoughts. Yes.
Okay. Well, let's go. One of the things that you wanted was one last time with Adam, right?
Right.
You wanted one last time to maybe kiss him or make love.
Yep.
And what you didn't write was that you wanted protection from Adam, right?
Right.
What you didn't write was that you were afraid of Adam, right?
Right.
Because you didn't want protection from Adam, right?
I wasn't thinking about that.
Okay. You just wanted to be with him one last time before you, as you put it, betrayed him, right?
Yes.
And having one last time with Adam before you talked to the police, you felt like he would understand and he would love you back, right?
No, I'm thinking about the conversation that him and I had before.
About
the kids still having their mother when
okay,
this situation occurs,
right?
and that he would take everything
Yeah,
so that I could be with the kids.
right. You two talked about that and what would happen, and you both agreed that you were the mother. You were more important to the kids, right?
Right.
That you were the mother of his children, right?
Right.
And you needed to be there for his children,
Right.
right? And you needed to be around more than he needed to be around.
No.
You actually wanted him to not be caught, right?
Yeah, I didn't.
Pardon?
I didn't.
And you wanted him to not be blamed for the death.
Right.
Because he didn't do what you said he did.
He did do what he did.
The victim impact statements delivered during Adam Montgomery's sentencing were emotional and heart-wrenching, giving voice to the immense grief and anger felt by Harmony Montgomery's loved ones. Crystal Sorey, Harmony's biological mother, spoke first, expressing her anguish over the loss of her beautiful, kind daughter. She called Adam a coward and a monster, recounting the unimaginable pain she felt on the night Harmony was beaten to death. Crystal vowed to forever search for Harmony and ensure that her memory lives on.
December 7th will forever be the darkest day of my life. The night you beat her to death, I woke up in the middle of the night in agonizing pain, from my head to my toes, and I felt like I was dying, not knowing, in the most brutal way, a part of me was dying. Suffering in that back seat for 20 minutes while you and your wife fed yourselves and your other children, and you got high. 20 minutes that you could have used to save her life. Did she cry for me? Did she scream? Did she beg you to stop? I'll never know. Because like I said, you're too much of a coward to tell the truth and do one good thing for Harmony. You may have taken her physically from me, but she is always, always with me. And I will forever look for her until the end of my days.
But I hope that every day and every night you are on this earth, you hear nothing but my baby's giggle. I doubt you ever heard it in this life. All she knew with you was misery and fear. I hope you hear her sweet voice telling you to stop hitting her over and over, or how she looked the very last time you saw her, broken and bruised. You were supposed to protect her, yet you did the opposite. Harmony wasn't anything to you but property that you could throw away when she was more of a burden to you than a meal ticket. Your hatred for me led you to act on your monstrous, controlling ways, and you took her because you just could not let her come home where she belongs. My love for Harmony outweighs my hatred for you, but they both gave me the strength to listen to my instincts and to help the police put you away forever. Harmony will live on through me, and you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything to stop it. I wish you nothing but pain and misery for the rest of your pathetic life, and with or without you, we will find my daughter. I always knew you weren't a good person, which is why I left you. I just never knew to what extent, but now I know you're just plain evil.
Harmony's aunt, Brittany, then shared her disbelief and outrage over Adam's actions. She recalled Adam's lies and manipulation in gaining custody of Harmony, expressing that if he truly loved her, she would still be alive today. Brittany called Adam a selfish, evil, conniving, poor excuse for a human being, and hoped that Harmony would haunt him every day in prison.
You never for 1 second loved Harmony, because if you did, she'd still be here today. You wanted to control her, and when you couldn't, over and over again, because she reminded you of my sister, you took her from us because you didn't want anyone else to have her. More proof of the absolute coward you are. The fact that you sat in court at your gun trial, like my sister said, and tried to use Harmony for some sympathy by saying you cannot wait to refute the offensive claims that you killed your daughter and you didn't and you loved her. Jury selection day, you showed up smiling at the jurors, proving exactly how evil you are. Then tell the judge the day of opening statements that you did all but kill her and expect a bunch of people to believe yet another lie from you. Because your egotistical ignorance makes you believe you are somehow smarter than anybody. You have the nerve to claim to be a victim of the disease of addiction and how it destroyed your life and all the crybaby stories you tell. The fact is this: you are a selfish, evil, conniving, poor excuse for a human being, and I hope you sit in prison every day while she haunts you day and night until it's unbearable, because that's what you deserve.
Blair Miller and Jonathan Bobbitt Miller, the adoptive parents of Harmony's brother Jameson, then shared the devastating impact of Harmony's death on their young son. They described Jameson's constant questions about his sister's whereabouts and his cherished memories of their time together in foster care. The Millers read Jameson's own words, expressing his love for Harmony and his wish to see her again.
Harmony, the child Adam that you murdered, you introduced a nightmare into our son. You introduced evil of this world to him. You have manipulated the criminal justice system until now, and trying to explain that to our 7-year-old son is hard. Before Jameson knew of Harmony's tragic fate, he would go to the door when the doorbell rung, and he would say, "Maybe she's found me." He would search a park, he would look at school, and if there was any girl that had blonde hair and glasses, he would go up to them and say, "Are you Harmony?" I'll never forget the day that we told Jameson that Harmony was in heaven. He's a very active kid, and that day he just stopped and he held us and he said, "No, I need my big sister." Why? Why did this happen?
In the end, the jury found Adam Montgomery guilty of second-degree murder for killing his 5-year-old daughter, Harmony Montgomery. He was sentenced to a minimum of 56 years in prison. The prosecution had offered to reduce their sentencing request down to 35 years to life if Adam revealed the location of Harmony's body, but he remained silent. After the sentencing, Crystal Sorey and law enforcement vowed to continue searching for Harmony's remains to bring her body home. Harmony Montgomery's tragic case highlights the complex interplay between childhood trauma, mental health issues, and substance abuse. Before the trial, Adam Montgomery had made several remarks that his crime was the result of his addiction and previous trauma. While these factors may have contributed to his violent and erratic behavior, however, they do not excuse or justify his actions, particularly considering that he did not abuse his other children in the same manner as he did Harmony. Experts in the field of psychology and criminology note that individuals with a history of trauma and addiction can still be held accountable for their choices and the harm they inflict upon others. In Adam's case, his decision to brutally murder his young daughter Harmony cannot be solely attributed to his struggles with substance abuse or mental health problems. Rather, it suggests a deeper level of dysfunction and a disturbing lack of empathy and moral conscience. What could have been done differently? Who do you think could have helped protect Harmony from the abuse she faced? Do you think Kayla holds the missing piece to the puzzle of what really happened to Harmony? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our video premieres. If you want to get your hands on ad-free and uncensored versions of all our wicked videos before anyone else, think about becoming a channel member. You'll get some cool exclusive emotes and badges to show off in the comments and during our live streams. Thank you for watching, and join us next time when we explore the psychological maze of some of the most wicked people.